Jadon Sancho was rescued when the electronic board was raised on the touchline in the 78th minute of the FA Cup final. Erik ten Hag shouted at him just moments before his substitution, and Sancho looked relieved to find refuge on the bench. The occasion of playing at Wembley can get into some players' minds, and Sancho suffered against Manchester City. He was anonymous throughout the match and shrunk when his team needed him to rise to the challenge instead. Sancho did not look right from the start. Although it was unintentional, he was the only player not to acknowledge Sir Alex Ferguson when the teams walked out, and he shied away from the ball, appearing to be unnerved by what was at stake. The game was an opportunity for Sancho to make a statement to his former club, and perhaps that contributed to his no-show performance. Sancho might have wanted to deliver so badly that he psychologically made it harder to do so. Sancho looked shackled by the occasion, not buoyed, and that's a problem when you represent Manchester United. The pressure of playing for the club is not embraced by everyone, and the winger looks increasingly not made for the shirt. Pep Guardiola believed Sancho didn't want to take the challenge of breaking into his City team, and the truth is the player might not be cut out for the biggest stage at this moment in his development, with his second season at Old Trafford having been disappointing again. Kyle Walker was always bound to sleep easy before the game, as he's one of the fastest full-backs in the game, and Sancho often seems incapable of beating an opponent in one-on-one situations. Only when Alejandro Garnacho entered the pitch for Christian Eriksen was Walker given something to think about. Garnacho is everything Sancho isn't at the moment. The youngster is pacey, direct, and a threat to the opponent. It wasn't supposed to be like this for Sancho. He contributed 50 goals and 64 assists in 3 seasons at Borussia Dortmund. He was considered one of the most exciting talents in Europe, and the £72.9 million fee paid for him was viewed as relatively cheap. His transfer to United coincided with the worst season at the club for decades, so he was given the benefit of the doubt, but there have been no excuses in the last few months, and the player who dazzled in Germany has still not arrived. The clock is ticking and time is running out. Erik ten Hag, who looked exasperated with him at Wembley on Saturday, is becoming impatient, and supporter opinion on the player has gradually shifted since his return in February. It should be noted Sancho endured a difficult period this winter when the club sensitively handled his situation, but he's since reintegrated into the first team, and he's in the right environment to perform to his optimum. Sancho is an enigma, and his identity crisis on the pitch has exacerbated the problem. The jury remains out on which position he should play in, and it's not a good look that teenager Garnacho has usurped him on the left-wing pecking order. It's difficult to find rhythm and form when being used sparingly in different positions, but Sancho has been given a run of games in the latter part of the season, and he's hardly seized the chances presented in front of him. Sancho will be given another year to prove himself by default, not merit. The rebuild of the club is at the embryonic stage, and there are more pressing matters in the squad to address, which should guarantee him more time. Next season might be Sancho's last at Old Trafford. If more of the same happens again, he must improve.